Hey everybody, I hope you're enjoying this beautiful Wednesday. It's so beautiful and sunshiny out today, so I hope you're outside enjoying it. But I thought I would come out here and read you guys a book. This is a really old book. This was a book that I had when I was a kid. It's called The Snorks and the Water Witch. So the Snorks are these little guys right here. And if your parents will let you search on YouTube, they have old cartoons. And they're all about saving the environment. So these guys, of course, if you can see the picture and stuff, they live in the ocean. So they're all about keeping the ocean clean and saving the ocean and making sure it's pollution free and all that stuff. So it's a really great little story. So I'm going to read that to you. Okay, and then we're going to do a cool little craft. I'll try to get the pictures up here where you guys can see. There's the first picture. All right. So at the very bottom of the ocean, in a place where no diver has ever been, live the Snorks. Their home is Snork City. Snorks have a remarkable tube on the top of their heads. They use their tubes in many interesting ways. Musical Snorks use them to make snork music. Sporty Snorks use them to play snorkball. All Snorks use their tubes to get around fast. Snorks do not swim. They jet through the water. They can even use their tubes to jet through air like airplanes. The Snork's biggest job is keeping the sea clean. Every day, Casey, the Snork's leader, jets above the sea. No oil spills today, the gulls say. Casey writes this down in her notebook. Then she dives into the sea and jets to the Snork salt mine. Hey, All-Star, she calls. How much salt are you going to dig today? All-Star answers by blowing bubbles. 1, 2, 3, Casey counts. 3 carloads of salt, she writes in her notebook. Next, Casey visits the Snork kelp farm. Kelp is the Snork's favorite seaweed. They eat it with every meal. How's the kelp doing? Casey asks her friends Demi and Daphne. Great! The plant food you suggested really helps, says Daphne. Kelp growing fine, Casey writes in her notebook. The last friend Casey visits is Tutor. He likes to toot music while he works the tide machine. Hi, Casey, he says. You're just in time for the changing of the tides. As the shells on the tide machine turn around and around, the water swishes backward and forward, getting cleaner all the time. Tide changes are good, Casey writes in her notebook. Each day at lunchtime, the Snorks have a meeting. They always talk about how things are going in Snork City and the changes they need to make to keep the city clean and the water clear. But one time, while they were having their usual meeting, the wicked Water Witch was watching them on her vision scanner screen. The Water Witch scowled. Ha, she said, changes? I'll show them changes. The Water Witch turned to her Yuck-Yucks. Do you hear that, my beauties? She screeched. Those silly Snorks want to make changes. Well, so do I. Here's my plan. And she told the Yuck-Yucks what she wanted them to do. And don't forget the notebook, she called to them as they shuffled out, muttering, yuck, 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 yuck. The Yuck-Yucks placed a large open clamshell near Snork City. In it, they put a notebook that looked just like Casey's. Then they hid in a nearby cave. A little while later, Casey and her friend Aukie jetted by. Oh, look, said Casey. There's a notebook in that shell. It's the same as mine. She jetted into the shell to get the notebook. Slam! The shell snapped shut. Casey was caught. The Yuck-Yucks carried the shell to the Water Witch's castle, muttering yuck, 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 yuck all the way. Oh no, what is Casey going to do? She's in trouble. The witch locked Casey in a cage. She was very pleased. My pretty Yuck-Yuck, she cooed. You did well. Now you will have all the garbage you can eat. Yuck, 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 said the Yuck-Yucks excitedly as they rushed off to eat. Then the witch turned to Casey. She held 2 notebooks. She opened one and began to read Casey's notes aloud. How to make the water cleaner. How to make the sand softer. Ugh, she sneered. My book has only one note. How to make everything in and around Snork City yucky. And that's the way it's going to be, she screeched. "Now we'll see about those changes," said the witch, and she plucked a hair from Casey's head. The witch dropped the hair into a cauldron of bubbly green liquid and chanted some strange words. There was an enormous puff of smoke, and when it cleared, Casey could hardly believe her eyes. There was another Casey in the room. The water witch had changed into a Snork that looked and sounded just like Casey. "Ha!" laughed the water witch. "Snork City will soon be dank, dismal, and dreary, just the way I like it. Now I must be off." Disguised as Casey, the water witch jetted to the tide machine. "Hi, Casey," said Tooter, and he tooted a merry tune. "Hi, Tooter," the water witch answered. "Time for some more changes." She looked straight into Tooter's eyes and cast a spell on him, and then she cackled softly. Under the water witch's spell, Tooter pulled on the lever on the tide machine to stop. The water was still. Next, the water witch, looking exactly like Casey, visited the kelp field. "Hi, Casey," said Demi and Daphne, but the witch didn't waste any time talking. She just looked at them straight in the eye. They stopped working, and they went off to play. Who is going to help keep the ocean clean now? She's making all kinds of bad changes, isn't she? At the salt mine, All-Star was very surprised by Casey's suggested changes. He started to argue with her, but the water witch disguised as Casey just stared into his eyes. All-Star went limp, and then he jetted off to join his friends Demi and Daphne. The water witch was enjoying herself in Snork City with no tide machine to wash it clean. The water was beginning to get dark and dirty. "How delightfully yucky it is," the water witch chortled. Meanwhile, at the water witch's castle, Casey was trying to figure out a way to get free. Suddenly, Aki saw the key to her cage. Aki pointed to it. Casey stretched her tube up to the key and lifted it off the hook. Casey slipped the key into the lock and turned it. She was free. "We've got to stop this water witch," Casey cried. "I can use her trick." She yanked down the water witch's curtains and used them for a cloak, put seaweed on her head for hair, and used one shell as a nose and another as a hat. "But I'm still too short," she cried. Aki pointed to his head, and Casey climbed on. "Now I look just like the water witch," Casey said. "Oh, I wonder what she's going to do, how she's going to save the ocean." Then Casey called the Yuck-Yucks. "That Snork girl has escaped," she shrieked. "Go bring her back or you'll get no more garbage today." The Yuck-Yucks scrambled out as quickly as they could, muttering yuck, 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 yuck. Meanwhile, Casey's friends were worried. Things were bad in Snork City. "We'll have to do something," said All-Star to the water witch disguised as Casey. "Your changes aren't good for Snork City. Look, the fish are sick. They look sick. The kelp is wilted. The water's dirty. What are they going to do?" Just then, the Yuck-Yucks appeared. They pounced on the water witch disguised as Casey and started to carry her back to the water witch's castle. "Save me, Snorks!" called the water witch. "After them!" shouted All-Star. "We must save Casey!" The friends sprang into action. Suddenly, a horrible creature appeared right in front of them. "Help! It's the water witch!" screamed Demi. "Now what do we do?" But it was not the water witch. It was Casey in her water witch costume. "Wait, stop! It's only me and Aki," she said to them as she pulled off her disguise. The Snorks were confused. "Then who's that Snork we were trying to save?" said All-Star. "We thought it was you." "I'll tell you later," said Casey. "Quick, we have important work to do." All-Star rushed back to the salt mine. Demi and Daphne jetted off to take care of the kelp, and Tooter started up the tide machine. Meanwhile, the Yuck-Yucks carried away the screaming water witch disguised as Casey. "Let me down, you fools! I'm the water witch!" she screeched. "Yuck, yuck, 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 yuck," was all they said. The moment the Yuck-Yucks entered the castle, the witch chanted a few magic words. She immediately changed back into the water witch. The Yuck-Yucks were dumbfounded. "Get out!" the water witch shrieked. She turned angrily to her vision scanner and snapped it on. "Ugh," she said. "Snork City looks cleaner already." She did not win, did she? By the end of the day, Snork City was clean and clear again. Casey and her friends gathered at dinner time to talk about everything that had happened. "Well, we beat the water witch this time," said Casey, "but we'll have to be on guard so she doesn't fool us again." All right, so like I said, this is a really cool, they have cartoons that you can watch, and all of it's about saving the ocean and keeping things pollution free. So if you're with your parents' permission, you can get on there and you can check those out, definitely. But since we did the ocean and keeping the ocean clean and all that stuff, I thought we would make a really cool jellyfish. Now my daughter and I made one last night. Actually, she made it all. I just kind of helped. I was there with the hot glue gun because we did hot glue a few things, but you could probably use Elmer's glue. But anyways, here is her jellyfish that she made. So we just took a disposable bowl that we had left over from, I don't know, probably a party or some other craft or something we had. It's clean. There's nothing in it. And she put, I have a lot of gift tissue. I think I said in one of my other posts, when I go to birthday parties and they start to throw tissue paper away, I'm running around grabbing it like mad because I use this stuff for crafts and use it for presents and stuff too. So anyway, she picked out a nice pink color, and we put glue all over the top of the bowl, and then we laid the tissue paper down on top, and then she painted more glue on top of that to make sure that it would stay down and nice and smooth. So we let that dry, and she attached some googly eyes to the front. And then we had this gift ribbon that was left over from her birthday. It came on one of her presents and she really liked it. But we decided we would use this for the jellyfish's tentacles, because a lot of jellyfish have more than just a few tentacles, and some of them are really long and some of them are really short. So we glued this. I went ahead and hot glued it to make sure it stayed. But I just hot glued it to the bottom of the bowl, and we punched holes in the side right here. And I got a thing to hang it up so she can hang it up in her room, because her room does have an ocean theme to it. So anyways, that's a really cool craft that you guys can do. Goes along with our story today, the Snorks and the Water Witch. Don't forget about our funky junk art contest that we have going on. We are encouraging kids to make some kind of art or craft out of junk that you have laying around your house. We've had one submission, a puppet made out of toilet paper rolls and straws and bottle caps and some tissue paper. So that was really cool. I posted it this morning. So you can send that to us through Messenger on Facebook, or you can email us at kccbdirector@gmail.com, and I'll put it up. Make sure that you include your child's name and grade and the materials used to make your craft. I will not put the child's name on Facebook. I'll just put a submission from whatever grade they're in, first grader, second grader, whatever. So to protect your guys' privacy. But we would love to see some more submissions. We have that going on till the end of April, and kind of like a little small celebration for Earth Day, I suppose. And since it is such a beautiful day today, and tomorrow and Friday are both going to be beautiful days, I have a spring scavenger hunt that I will upload on the bottom of this video in the comment section, so you guys can get out and look for some cool beautiful things in the springtime, okay? And Miss Greta will be on tomorrow, and then Friday I will be back, and carrying on with our water theme, we're going to do a story about Fred the fish, and we're going to make a cute little fish to go with it. And before I go, we are also doing a Let's Take Pride in Our County campaign. We can't get out and pick up litter right now, but we can take personal responsibility in our designated environment, which is taking pride. So we are encouraging all the residents to take pride in where you live. So things that you can do to make your yard beautiful. If you have a beautiful yard, please submit that picture to us. We'll put that on Facebook. We had one last night of somebody who took a picture of their wisteria vine and uploaded it to Facebook. So we would love to see those and to see some beautiful things that you're doing in the county while we're in this quarantine. So we hope you guys stay safe. We hope you stay healthy. I'll see you Friday. Miss Greta will see you tomorrow. And we hope you have fun crafting. We'll see you guys later. Bye.